Hello again. Thank you very much for staying with us here on SABC News. Let's go now to Dawie, who's still on the floor with us. She'll continue to get market reaction with Dawie Roodt on what the results say so far and, of course, what expectation is, Dawie?
Griselda, if you've been watching On Point and certainly SABC News, you'll hear that my colleague Arabile Kumete, who's at the JSE, mentioned that the rand is strengthening and also equity markets are strengthening nicely. So I'm still speaking to Dawie Roodt, who's the chief economist at Efficient Group, to find out, what does this all mean for the people at home, the bread and butter issues. That is what people care about at the end of the day. Dawie, thank you very much. I'm telling everyone about how the rand has now strengthened. Why should they care about this?
Well, the rand is nothing but the stock price of the South African Incorporated. The rand is telling us that the financial markets are happy with the results of the elections so far, and it's not only the rand. The cleverest of all markets, as far as I'm concerned, is the bond market, and we've seen the bond market also gaining a couple of points at the moment. So remember, a weaker rand simply means that we're going to see more inflation, high interest rates, and that. Now we're actually seeing a slightly stronger rand. Of course, it's early time still, and a lot can still change. The equity market, however, is another story. The equity market is under a lot of pressure today, but it's not because of local conditions or because of the election. It is because of international stuff. It is because of what Donald Trump is doing. It's the trade war between the Americans and the Chinese, and in fact, we really expected the local equities markets to come under pressure. But those things that really matter, like the exchange rate of the rand and like the bond market, is telling us that the financial markets are happy with the results so far.
I know that people want to know, are we going to get jobs after this? This is the burning question, with a high unemployment sitting at 27.1%. This is an official rate. Of course, those who have given up looking for jobs, the number is even higher. The despondency is even worse out there. What do you think?
Yeah, we have to be honest about this. The economy is really going through a very bad patch, and unfortunately, it's probably it's important to implement certain very, very painful medicines and measures in order to fix what has gone wrong. And many things went wrong in the economy the past 10 years or so. And I'm afraid that's going to be very painful. So don't expect jobs and economic growth after the elections. In fact, it's quite possible that we can see a further increase in unemployment and poverty and that sort of bad things. But if we do the right things, it's going to be temporary. And then thereafter, we are likely to see economic growth. In fact, that is what is required of a good political leader, to make unpopular decisions. And that's the real thing that the financial markets will be looking out for. Will the president consolidate his power? Will he actually have the heart, and will he have the political power to implement these very, very painful things, which was probably going to lead to a lot of pain for many, many individuals, in order that we can have a brighter future after that. So unfortunately, sometimes you have to take bad medicine.
There'll be other people in other quarters who'll be looking at the issue of the land and expropriation without compensation. People will be looking at nationalization of certain assets, such as the Reserve Bank. What do you think that the party that takes over should prioritize?
Well, I think this land thing and the nationalization of the Reserve Bank and all that is probably going to not die down, but it's probably going to be moved to the back burner for now, because there are far more important and pressing issues. Eskom, for example, is a major issue. The civil service, generally speaking, there are just too many civil servants. They are hopelessly overpaid in South Africa. We need to get the state's quality of service of the state. We have to improve that. We have to get electricity. We have to sort out South African Airways and that sort of stuff. And without a doubt, that is far, far more important than trying to nationalize the South African Reserve Bank, as an example. So my suspicion is those are the sort of things that the president will concentrate on to fix the things that really matter, because the Reserve Bank is working, but the state is not working, Eskom is not working, and those are the things that should be prioritized.
And just lastly, how do you think that the international market is viewing these elections, especially international investors? How are they viewing the outcome of these elections?
Yeah, well, there are two answers to that. I think the international community, generally speaking, what they're happy is that this was a peaceful election, that this is a fair election, and that the ANC won fair and square. Oh, well, they're probably going to win fair and square. That is the first point. The second point is the international investors will wait and see what sort of policies there will be, what the cabinet's going to look like, and what sort of policy changes can be expected from this new cabinet.
Dawie Roodt, thank you very much. Griselda, Dawie Roodt is the chief economist at Efficient Group, and he's been telling us what we can expect from the markets, from the economy, and also from international investors, what they'll be looking out for. Key, what he says, is policy certainty. I know that from a lot of quarters we've heard about policy uncertainty and the effects that has on making investments or for international investors to even come into South Africa because of policy uncertainty. Let's hope that this will be on the to-do list of the next government.
Well, we say goodbye to our SABC 3 viewers for the moment. Our rolling election results coverage continues on SABC 2 and, of course, SABC News Channel 404. The Electoral Commission is expected to brief the media in the next few minutes.